What's up, Catsy? Favorite map so far? I don't know, honestly. I don't know if I have a favorite. Like, if I look through the list, I've enjoyed Carnivore. I thought Carnivore was kind of fun. I've enjoyed... I like Oceanborn, Carnivore. I kind of like Solaris as well, I think. And I think Hector's quite nice. Yeah, I'm not sure. I kind of like Institute too. I also think Institute's very cool. Oh, actually, I also like the idea of shipping these with the half gold, half blue base. Yeah. I don't know if I have favorites yet. I feel like a lot of them are just very solid, good maps, you know? As set up here, not missing anything, not observing for a moment or two, thankfully. So we get a gateway at the front, we get a hatchery. On this forward location, I mean, why the hell wouldn't you expand here? You know, if you're a Zerg player, take the increased income early. There's absolutely no reason not to do that, so as a Zerg, you take fast 3 bases all the time, and I mean, as a Protoss, you actually block the natural, right? So I guess then as Scarlett, you absolutely are going to end up over there, but I wonder if you just fancy going over there most of the time anyway? That's kind of funny. Yeah, that kind of could be kind of funky, couldn't it? Obviously, MaxPax likes doing this sort of thing, though, because he does allow him to really be able to kind of do some more kind of variance in his play, being able to introduce Twilight Council builds and stuff like that. So, yeah, we're actually here on Shipping News right now. I was talking about some of my favorite maps. I actually think this map's genuinely very cool. I think this is fun. I don't know how balanced it might end up being, but I think it's fun. I think it's a little bit different without being completely wacky. So, yeah, I kind of like this map. I feel like we've seen good games on it so far. So, yeah. So, no, I like it. We'll see how it continues to play out, though. Obviously, a lot going on. A lot to think about. Of course, after today, guys, we still have Group C of the tournament tomorrow. Oliveira, Classic, Young, Lambo, and a 5th player. Going to be active, so another day of groups tomorrow, and then into playoffs on Saturday and Sunday. Adept is going to threaten the shade as the Lings come around. The Adept will turn over to the sides. Stargate is about to finish up from MaxPacks. Again, that Stargate completed. And the Adept already starting. A couple of probes coming through. The Oracle is on the way as well. Chrono boosting out and just seeing our few additional Lings building. As Skull's going to sit just, you know, getting ready to basically deny these first couple of Adepts and then hopefully be able to just focus on droning behind this. I would imagine is the plan here, is that Ling speed just a few moments away from finishing. The gateway over on the top left coming in as well. Is there a 5th player in Group C, as Wikipedia has it as TBD? There is, I just haven't revealed who it is yet. You guys always just want to ruin the surprise announcements, don't you? It's Maru! No, it's not Maru. I just only invited them earlier today, and I just haven't told Wikipedia to update it and set the map score and match schedule and stuff, so yeah. Oh, that's painful. 9 drones, oh my god. That's a very painful start for Scarlett. That really sucks. Ragnarok, no, Ragnarok couldn't play. It's Kalaris. Nice. How did we kill 9 drones? That's almost ridiculous. That really popped off as we do come across and we get 1 probe on this forward location. That's about it for now, as we do see a couple of assimilators coming up from MaxPax over on this natural. They're going to be able to get this Overlord too, finish that off, and I just feel like this has been the MaxPax game for the first few minutes here. Little slow zone. This is actually one of the things I love about this map, by the way. I think it's so well thought out. It's like, hey, one of the things that'd be really nice to have would be like nice, easy access to the watchtower defensively. But how do you give easy access to the watchtower without making it so much more powerful for your opponents? So, yeah, you just kind of have this slow zone kind of area. There's a little pathway here. An extra attack in, not easy to make advantage of aggressively, good defensively. And also, like I said, just opens you up another access point onto the map, which can also be good for breaking out of contains and stuff. So, I kind of love that. I actually love that. It's, It's really cool. I think it's really neat. 4 drones dead again, man. Oracles are just having a field day and beyond at the moment. 4 more drones dropping down. The damage really is just stacking up at this stage. It is absolutely getting a little bit ridiculous. As a couple of Oracles continue around the left, we will see the Roach speed starting as well. A couple of Oracles will come towards the right. We're going to grab a drone again, man. Can we stop killing these drones? Give them a break, seriously. Seriously. I mean, it's just been drone again for these Oracles. I mean, how many have we killed at this point? 16. What an opening. 1.2k to 400 resources lost. Scarlett just still behind on workers because of all this. And now the double forge blink setup. I mean, this is exactly where you expect MaxPax to go. This is where you expect MaxPax to take it into a very kind of solid mid-game where he's just had such a great opening, straight to 4 bases. And now he can just pressure with these Stalkers pretty much throughout. So we'll see how that goes. The infestation bit finishing up around the back. A couple of adepts still coming through too. Shading their way through the top side of the map here early. And just going to go running around that side. A few Stalkers and Oracles again in the center, trying to see what else they can get up to. Going to include coming around this right-hand side with the Adepts. Just poised to see what they can get up to. We'll drop 1 Ling down immediately on the top watchtower. Roaches and Ravagers. Roaches Ravagers continue through. Just going to be seeing our SWARMHOSTS now on the way. That's a fun one. That's a really different way to approach this. My goodness. I saw the infestation pit and it didn't really click. I was just like, okay, cool infestation pit. And I was like, maybe I should have really thought about it harder. I don't think I would have guessed SWARMHOSTS, though. Even still, I would have thought maybe a faster attempt towards a hive or so. SWARMHOSTS were absolutely not on my list. Okay, very interesting. We do see a couple of shots coming through. Revelation onto the Roach Ravager. Ling's getting pushed back. A few Stalkers still coming through. It's going to be seen our +2 attack, our charge. Being brought up as well right now for MaxPacks. As we do have the Stalkers continuing around here. Well, the SwarmHost should be, in theory, pretty good against this army when it comes to the Locust fighting them because there's no splash damage or anything. What is interesting is, obviously, can you really survive the pressure of these Stalkers in between SwarmHost waves? I love this. We didn't use the SwarmHost on the map there. That means we can use the SwarmHost to go engage this base, and I do not think there's anything to clean those up. Well, we drop down. We're just going to target the Nexus immediately here, and I think that's a guaranteed kill. Obviously, the Stalkers can fight it. It's just a very slow fight. As we're actually going to jump on some of the Stalkers on this right side as well. Ling Roach Ravager again, a bit of a grab. Scarlett moving forward. We do see these Zelds continue to get knocked down as well, and Scarlett just putting some good pressure on before her next wave of Locusts, which will be interesting to see where she places them. Is she just going to go towards this army right now? Loses the SwarmHost. They're a little bit exposed. How far until our cooldown is available there? Better be ready. We do drop them off, and into this base we go. I guess that just is our next target. Knock down these active bases, and oh my goodness, the Stalkers are giving it up already. Scarlett is doing some serious damage with the SwarmHost. 6 more of them on the way, and she is putting in serious work. The only problem is these Oracles are working their way through these SwarmHosts. I wouldn't even hate a couple of these getting home and maybe picking up a Transfuse or so. Oh yeah, Queen's showing up to actually protect the SwarmHosts from the Oracles as well. There are Zelds on the other side of the map. MaxPax is finding damage during this. Hoping to hit a hive down would be a massive slowdown in Scarlett's tech in this game. Oh, it's dead. She's already cancelled it. She's going to start the lair immediately elsewhere. Okay, that's a major slowdown from MaxPax. If it wasn't for that, Scarlett's going to have very free reign on what she does. Now she's a bit more limited. Now she might be stuck on these SwarmHosts for that much longer. Locust drop in, Nexus gets picked off, going to turn back around. Stalker still taking some damage, and we do have another Nexus trying to set up on the top. We've got ourselves the Prism, working our way through the bottom side of the map here. Roach is coming around, Hatchery has been killed. Gotta rebuild that main base. Locust getting set to go again. We're currently just now long distance mining back to this base, which might be the new target again. It's still gold minerals on it. Gold minerals plus the fact you've got the long distancing on this base currently being used. So, yeah, I guess this is a good target. Lots of probes near here. I'm just going to drop straight down, maybe take the cannon first, and then go for the Nexus after. We're not target firing anything yet, as we currently run Roach Ravager around against some of these Protoss counterattacks. I think this time we don't get the base, though. I think we left it a little bit too long before we decided to click on that Nexus, so SwarmHost Locust will not succeed as much as they've done previously. Gonna knock this base down now. Once again, keeping the MaxPax base count low is pretty much essential if you want to be successful with this style. If you're not doing that, you're going to have a bad time further down the line. A few Biles and Stalkers already having to dodge out of here. A couple of Zealots start to get knocked down. Our Roach Ravager continue to do a very good job of applying the pressure at the front, and we just have our Stalkers blinking through. Stalkers trying to get on top of this Roach Ravager, and it's going to clean out pretty much everything. So Stalkers taking a lot of hits, but we got rid of all the Roach Ravager that was there. The Locusts will go once more. Is that another base? Honestly, I think if we right-click it straight away, you just can't do anything to stop this because there isn't enough DPS output from the Stalkers to actually have a good go at that. So, it gets a couple of probes at the end, even some Stalkers going down. MaxPax deciding to go across the map with the rest of this army. The Prism being shut down in the main base this time. The Scarlett's getting a Nidus up for some extra mobility around, and also getting a little bit more done. Stalkers, Oracles moving through the center. More of these swarmy hosts into the middle of the map as well. Just going to get jumped on. One swarm host goes down immediately. A few roaches coming through. Just going to keep on pressing forward. Roaches, swarm hosts pushing on through here for the moment. Just going to be seeing the Stalkers getting set up. We do have the Locust popping up once again. Dropping on down. We do have on the bottom side Zealots going in. A couple of drones being picked away at top right side. We've got ourselves the Zealots onto that hatchery as well. These units all across the place. Obviously, you're taking a few moments to calm things down. Just for a moment or two. This one must come back up this right side, and well, look at Scarlett. Adrenal glands look down. I mean, what's MaxPax on? He hasn't introduced Archons to his game. Let's see, those couple Zads get picked off. The Stalkers still putting some pressure in. Locusts dropping down again toward those Stalkers, and yeah, I think the SwarmHosts are something which there's just no response to from MaxPax. I think MaxPax is absolutely stuck on this army, and this doesn't really deal well with Lurkers in the slightest. So, I think the SwarmHosts already were an issue, but at least the Archons start to deal with that. The Lurkers, though, if we get to any amount of good Lurkers here, I just don't think there's going to be much to say. This sort of fight doesn't feel great for Scarlett, but she is going to get rid of every single Archon, even if she loses Roach Ravager. Her Roach Ravager is somewhat replaceable. She's only on 70 drones. You do typically play a lower drone count when you're playing with these swarm hosts. Currently has no way to stop these Zealots, so Zealots actually doing very well, denying the +3 missile upgrade in the main base especially. That is a very good couple of moments. Couple of Zealots going down. Stalkers now showing up to pressure a little bit as well. Nice is actually going to prompt the recall home. We've been trying to mine out this base for an eternity and it just ain't happening. It's going to die again. Entire right side has been wiped out so far. Maybe now we can start focusing on the left. Again, Scarlett's doing a great job, and she hasn't actually made the switch into Lurkers. I don't think she needs to. I think this just swarm of units is working well enough just now. I mean, she has to know that her army count is pretty astounding, even if it is just roaches. Oh, we saved the base top right. I guess her base count isn't amazing. If she loses that, she's only on 4 bases, and main, natural, and third are very, very thin on minerals. So maybe Scarlett's a bit more desperate than I feel like. Maybe she'd expand bottom and top. Lucas diving into this. They take a while to start firing. Corrosive piles maybe on the probe line could have been cute. Doesn't happen as MaxPax comes around the other way and pushes this back. More units still here from MaxPax in the center, and these are just consistent, really relentless fights that we're seeing. Actually pretty impressed by how consistent these fights have been coming around here. I'm really thought this was going to be a excuse me, a little bit of a different. I wouldn't have thought it would have been such a an active engagement focused game. Is there a point where MaxPax holds on and is in okay position? Maybe, question mark? Like, I think there is a setup where you can maybe do enough here as Scarlett to kind of be like, okay, I've done a lot, but then MaxPax can maybe... I mean, maybe if there was no lurker transition. I think the lurker transition kills MaxPax no matter what. I don't think there's a way for Scarlett to actually lose out in this. But for a few moments, I was like, well, maybe there is. We're actually going to see the acceleration zone used here on ship and used to speed through this bottom side. Continuing this bit of back and forth, linking forward to Stalkers, trying to trade out with those roaches. Doing a pretty darn good job of it. Stalkers will trade out one more time, getting a few more shots off. Going back over this right side, and at the same time, Locusts are just, well, making their way up over here, and they will start to knock down the natural expansion, so that's going to be some pretty serious damage taken in the next few moments. We knocked down the Cyber Core already, and we'll continue after these few probes. I mean, it's a scrappy game at its core. Like, it doesn't necessarily feel like it at first, but it is very, like, low eco, low base counts. I know MaxPax being denied bases, but he's been good enough on Scarlett's side that she's not just set up into this wonderful kind of game-ending setup that she would have liked to have been in. She would have liked to just cleanly transition to lurkers and just be done with the game. That was much harder for her to do than she probably originally thought. Hatch top right goes down. The roaches! No! Not having a good time there. Gonna come in again now. And as Adaptive Talons is about to finish up, a couple more Zealots, High Templar, all continuing through. Just going to be seeing our probes, going to pull across the other side, going to go after that Nidus. It's going to go for that missile upgrade coming through. The extra lurkers are still coming up. Seeing our Stalkers still getting hit on a little bit as well. Now probes continue to come on through here as we get a couple of kills. The Locusts just dropped down. We are going to go in after some of these probes, so getting some damage dealt. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, even more of these Locusts. Just finding the long distance mining, taking away some of the final options that MaxPax might have in this game in terms of economy. And MaxPax is just pushed on the other side with a very worn down set of Stalkers. Lurkers really do just end this game, and I think with the Lurkers in place, MaxPax has no other option. It was kind of getting to that point anyways, but Lurkers are really pressing all the wrong buttons, but we got there in the end. Down a game in the top right-hand corner. A blue Protoss player. This is MaxPax looking to bounce back, as in the bottom left, our red Zerg is going to be Scarlett up a game. And this group could be in all sorts of disarray based on this. We'll see how it goes. We'll see what the final result is. Scarlett currently 0-2. Needs to win this to start looking towards 1-2, and then 2-2. 2-2 is generally a safe place to advance. There is a world, guys. There is a world where MaxPax and Clem beat everybody. So even if, say MaxPax comes back in this series, there's a world where they beat everyone apart from each other, and then Scarlett, Wayne, and Creator potentially trade series, and we end up in a tiebreaker. That is a possibility. That is something that can happen. Obviously, we do have map or tiebreaker situations like map score and stuff. So if Scarlett does lose this series, the fact she took a map off MaxPax alone could be quite influential if that situation arises. I'm not saying it's going to. I'm just kind of looking ahead, still sort of thinking based on kind of expectations. Obviously, right now, we'll see if Scarlett can finish this series out, because then that kind of gets wiped off the table straight away. But yeah, we'll see. Obviously, game 2 here. Solaris, man, we've just seen Solaris all the freaking time now. Solaris just popped out of, like, nowhere today, and it's just been played, like, 5 times. Apparently, I put it in all the maps. I think I used Solaris a lot as, like, a filler map, as, like, oh, this one wasn't selected much on the first 2 groups. So even though it's being played a bit more, I'll just kind of use it to spice up this map. And then it's just being picked every time it's been in a map pool choice. That's funny. Ian M7, thank you so much for the 5 gifted subs going out to Chipper, Stay Hydrate, Maddox, Woo1592,000, and also Zaxaphone. Thank you so much, Ian M7, for the generous 5 gifted subs. I really appreciate it, mate. Thank you so, so much. That pops out. I'm going to begin to move down toward the bottom left-hand side and see what it can do. As we get a Stargate coming up, we got the, the Lings and Ling speed starting from Scarlett. How many Lings is she making, though? This might just be a Ling flood all in to try and grab a game 2. This is wallable with an extra building right. That would be necessary to hold this off. It is a Stargate, which is a better choice here for MaxPax defensively against a Ling flood. That would potentially be quite important. Ling's just going to wander in, going to start onto this pylon. First Adept is out on the map, so this pylon's taking a lot of damage. Now, there's going to be an Adept spawn, and soon Skull gives up on the pylon to start fighting the probes, which is already nice. The sooner you do this damage, the better it's going to be. The less setup there will be defensively for MaxPax, the less you can afford. Now the wall-off comes in. And the rest of the Lings are arriving. We've got 1 Adept left on this other side to surround this first Adept. We do have 2 Adepts coming back home as well. I mean, that's a pretty big deal, getting these other 2 Adepts back. More damage output at home, more stuff in the wall is generally huge. And MaxPax is not going to lose this wall. He's not going to lose this game if he doesn't lose the wall. So that's going to be it. That's a very quick GG's for game number 2. And after all that 20 minutes of... I think it used to be normal. I think I must have knocked it or something. Well, either the carrier is wonky or one of the other ones is wonky. I think I fixed it though. Nice. Huge gameplay. Wardy needs a level. You don't want to try and measure and level things in our house. Everything's wonky. I actually perfectly measured where to put these things up, and then I got them all up. And they were all wonky. And I was like, what? Turns out the walls are like different heights or something. It's just silly. Bottom right is MaxPax, top left is Scarlett. We enter Sidetracked. First time we're seeing this one today. As we kick this off, when we get this going. In the right-hand side, we've got Monster Energy as well, our sponsor of the TLMC. Wonderful to have them. Without their partnership, TLMC would not be back in such force as it is now. Don't know who to cheer for. Scarlett is awesome and MaxPax is a Protoss. Why not cheer for them both and just cheer for good StarCraft games, you know? That's a classic. Just cheer for the good game. I love this map. I love the train lines. I think it's really cool. As long as you avoid the fact that if you go over here, you actually fall off the tracks and you die. But other than that, really love the map. It's yeah, this one's been fun. We've seen it a little bit. It's been quite heavily played so far, actually. So yeah, it's been getting some love. Has some rocks in the center to mix things up, of course. We've got pretty standard kind of forward or triangular or linear set of bases. Yeah, let's see what Sidetrack brings us here in this game 3 of MaxPax versus Scarlett. After this, guys, we're going to be diving ourselves into, just to keep you up to date with the match order, MaxPax versus Wayne. Then we're going to take a quick quick peek at Creator versus Wayne, and then we're going to end the day with Creator versus Scarlett. That is our full match order, and we'll be sticking to that no matter what, just to let you guys know. Link speed coming through. So far, so good. So you have this one adept. Trying to find a way around into a little bit of harassment, perhaps. Nothing too crazy just yet, though. I'm just going to be seeing the few Lings getting a bit of a turnaround. Doing pretty decently for themselves. Yeah, so far so good, I would say. And we do have the Adepts getting into this main, forcing the drones to pull for this around, but that's 4 drone kills. MaxPax got to be pretty happy with that in the early stages. That seems pretty reasonable. Group skunking up the track. Well, actually, this is StarCraft technology track, where the track is buoyant, is more buoyant than creep spread. So actually, it floats on top of the creep, while also staying stable enough to be a track. It's new technology, so you can actually have train lines even when Zergs invade the map. It's really useful. Things want to try and go for this Nexus, nibbling their way through it. Oracle will activate, Lings get turned around. Nine more drones in production, by the way, as the pylon comes up. The assimilators keep coming through. We do have a couple of overlords moving around still in the center. All said and done, what's been lost? 3 adepts with the 4 drones and 9 Lings. I mean, it's actually not that bad. I think you just got to add in the lost mining time on top of it, and I still think MaxPax is pretty okay about it. As the Twilight Council and the Forge are going to come in as part of this follow-up as well. So again, that Twilight Council on the way, the Forge, a couple of gateways. All of this coming through as our oracles will be diving forward. The first drone already taking a little bit of a loss. And our oracles keep on coming through. 3 drones going down. The oracle's still taking hits as we come down the left-hand side. A few more probes, a couple more gateways. Continue out here from MaxPax. Melee upgrade coming up on the Evo chamber. Oracle's still through the middle as well, heading to the northern side of the map. Skull's going to opt for that melee upgrade, which we've seen be very popular, especially against these Stalker styles. The Lings can trade very well against them, especially with good upgrades. Lose a Queen, though, and Oracles really have been pretty good to MaxPax here. Skull just working on her lair and 4th base, and on we go. There's a lot more drones going down. MaxPax just absolutely just jumping on any opportunity to murder workers here. Loses a couple more adepts, get a bunch more drones. Apologies, I don't feel like I observed that very well, but yeah, a bunch of drones dying, and that just adds to the deficit here. Scarlett is just not really got enough right now. Blink, +1, armor upgrade. All of that's coming through. We do see the Lings running forward. Going to grab a probe. When did MaxPax go from highly innovative to the same strat in every PvZ? I think when he found a style that worked super well for him. I think this has just been very good to him the last couple of weeks, so just kind of sticking to it. Another revelation going down. Our Stalker's obviously advanced up the center. That kind of work damage we saw earlier is the sort of damage that leads into the problems here typically for a Protoss where... for a Zerg, sorry, where they just don't have the numbers to hold on. Blink counterattack finds nothing, a single battery, and cannon is good enough, apparently. As now the stasis ward around the back is going to catch just a few of those lings and stop the surround. And I really feel like at this stage, this is where you see the real issues kind of come around for the Zerg player. As you just see such good trades from these Stalkers. Scarlett is going to try and get to Lurkers. Which if she gets there, will always stand by the idea that if you get to the Lurkers, they are amazing against this kind of army. I'm just not immediately convinced by it, so I guess we'll wait and see. A couple more Oracles joining up overhead. Oracle comes in, just going to get Stasis down. Queen taking a bit of damage, a couple of Lings taking shots. It's going to be seeing these Stalkers continue to pull back, the Lings continue to chase forward here. We're going to have the Stasis going to catch us, basically a massive wall. That's awkward because now the Lings running back through get caught and they have to derp around. Oh my goodness, the Stasis wards have been marvelous, and well, that's a big part of why this style is so good. The Stasis wards are just fantastic. Prism on the top side, a few Zealots get to warp in. There's rocks actually blocking this Rich Vespine, by the way. That's actually kind of cool. I don't feel I even mentioned that on this map, even though I've cast this map a couple of times and I read the description. Maybe I just didn't really think about it. Anyways, we'll see if that gets utilized. Obviously, MaxPax, I think, taking that forward base allows him to keep on being more aggressive with these units. It gives him somewhere else to fall back to that has a battery and, you know, has an extra cannon or so. So it's just nice to have that forward location that is set up for yourself. And he is going to make the most of mining that already as well. As Lurkers are coming out, we'll see if MaxPax will be forced into a kind of a later game army here. What exactly might actually happen? We're going to knock a Queen down as well. Still some Zealots up to the top. Ling's going to get surrounded in and killed off by... Oh, Zell going to surround in and kill off that Ling. And ooh, we do have just the Prism. I mean, doing okay. The Ling's at least clearing up. 11 more drones going down. I do not think Scarlett has got the numbers to really stick around. Even if she's got the Lurkers out, she's only got 56 workers, and now I don't think she's got the Lurkers to be everywhere. She's going to start counterattack, and I think she realizes that sitting back and letting MaxPax dictate the pace of this game is absolutely working against us. So she's going to get a lot more active herself. Super Battery keeping this cannon alive. The Banes are going to go for a deeper and hopefully more invested into Mineral Line. I don't hate that idea. I think you've got to go big or go home right now as Scarlett. Unfortunately, MaxPax has packed her bags and is sending her home because he's just not letting this be anywhere near enough damage. 22 probes is nice, but MaxPax still ahead in workers, and he's across the map causing trouble in all sorts of places. He's even taken this base over here. He completely controls the game when he's got both those bases, and as Scarlett's Lurkers kind of wander into Stalkers, that's going to be GG's. And we do have MaxPax taking game number 3, and he wins this series out. Scarlett is going to end up with a loss, unfortunately, and MaxPax will continue his winning streak.